What is happening? Welcome back to another video, and finally I'm able to do my review of the ACUS C2. I've been using it for the last few months and I really wanted to put it to the test to see what it was like, because obviously when I reviewed the M1 I didn't have access to all the cams and all the other bits and bobs because they were quite a fledgling company. They'd only just come out. At that point I had the machine on loan. Since then, they've brought out another machine, which is the C2, which is what we're talking about today, and also the M2, and to be fair, that looks fucking class. Now, the C2, alongside the C2 and the M2 that they brought out, they've also got a whole load of different accessories, and this is where it really did kind of like, tickle my fancy, let's say. You've got multiple different stroke lengths available now. I think they've got over 12 different stroke lengths. You've got different weights, a standard, a heavy and a super heavy. So for example, depending on your style of tattooing that you like to do, you can really fine tune this machine to suit your needs. I've got all these different stroke length options that they've given me to test out. So I really wanted to kind of see what the difference was. And there's definitely massive differences between them all. So say for example, like the super heavy 4.1, which is brass. If you were doing Blackwork and you're using like 59, 60 mags, 70 mags, or 115 mags, if you're using those big needle groupings, then that is possibly the cam that you'd go for. If you are a color realist, then you're probably going to want to go for something like the standard 4.1. You can line with it, you can pack color with it, you can blend with it. Equally, you could do the same with the standard 3.7. They've got a nice bit of push to it. 4.1 heavy, fantastic for, again, color packing, tribal, Blackwork, maybe not necessarily the bigger needle groupings like the 115s, but it does give you a nice effect where you can run the machine a little bit lower, and yeah, it is nice to use. When you buy one of the separate cams, it comes like this, and you open it up, so you have your, well, this one is the super heavy. So there we go. This is super heavy cam, but you also get two of these, which are the spare drive bars that go onto the back of the cam. So when you buy one, if that does wear down, and break, you can just pop it off. Like, I don't even know if there's a lifespan to these, to be honest, but you just pop that off, discard it however you will, and then pop the new one back on, and it's super easy. So it really is a case of a lot of thought has gone into the design and the manufacture of these machines, and I honestly, right, I've put it through its paces and I really like the machine. Setting up wise, absolutely easy to barrier. You can use the machine covers that you get from Bishop on the Barbie DTS website, or other companies probably sell them, and if there are any non-branded ones, you can use those as well. But I find, if you're using disposable grips, just banging the cover on, putting the disposable grip over it makes it super easy. And as I'm talking, I'm pretty sure I've got a video of me kind of showing all that. The disposable grips themselves, they are comfortable. They are comfortable to use. Easy to strip it down then. So when it comes to cleaning this after you've done your tattoo, obviously you've got the disposable grip, it's barriered. And one thing I think a lot of companies are really missing with tattoo machines these days, and I honestly don't know why they're not doing it, is allowing us to open them up. And I think this is something that is very much a unique selling point for ACUS, is the fact that they aren't doing what a lot of brands are doing, where they're not letting us go inside the machines. Whether it's a non-wireless machine or a wireless machine, we're able to open it up. So now I'm able to really get up in there, clean that. If I take all the O-rings off, I can then put that through an autoclave and sterilize it, which then gives you a good reason to have multiple versions of these. So if you wanted to, you could have multiple needle guides, multiple grips, and pretty much, sterilize these parts and have it all blister pack ready, and then you just pop that on and happy days. So setup, breakdown, really good. And the fact as well that it's a machine that is essentially, you only need one tool to to maintain the machine. You literally just need this, which is the one Allen key, and that's all you need. There's so many variations you get. Like I said, I've been given the 3.7 heavy, which is one of my favorite ones. The 3 mil stroke, which is a really good one for black and grey shading. I used that one when I tattooed the bassist from Killer Lights. We're gonna have a video coming out soon on that, where we've sat down, we actually interviewed him while I tattooed him. So the machine itself, you know, simple, really simple design wise. And this bit there, so this entire section, right, and this is one thing I found really interesting. This entire section there is basically the same as the M2. So like I said, if you have this heavy needle guide, you can just pop that onto the M2 machine and use it, which makes me think you could just drop it in there and happy days. Yeah, I honestly haven't got anything to say about it that's negative. I think, realistically speaking, right, from using it, you know, it's adaptable. You can use it with power supplies, you can use it with batteries. Battery wise, it is very power hungry, dependent on the stroke length that you're using. As it's got a brushed motor, not a brushless motor, it will consume more power. And I've noticed that, and that's not just with this, that's just generally with brushed motors versus brushless. They are a little bit more power hungry, so to say. But equally, when you're using different stroke lengths, like the heavier the cam, it's going to be more force, more power used to turn it and so on. So my only critique that I could say is it uses up more battery than a brushless motor, and that is it. Like, generally it's comfortable to use, you've got multiple different options to go for, and yeah, I haven't got anything negative to say about it. ACUS, you've done a fantastic job with this machine. I'm going to say now, if anybody, like, if you are somebody that is looking to buy a really good quality machine that's got a lot of thought gone into the engineering and the production and everything, definitely give the ACUS C2 a look. I've been really happy with the products. I've been really happy with the results of the tattoos that are coming back. Clients are healing fairly quickly, and it's really allowing me to adapt myself, or sorry, not adapt myself, but I'm able to adapt the machine to the way that I tattoo and to my client's skin as well, just by changing a couple of little bits and bobs here and there. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those reviews where it's just, yeah, massive thumbs up. ACUS have done a fantastic job at making a really fucking good machine that is going to suit a lot of people's needs, and it's not going to break the bank because you only need to buy cams if you want to try something different. And they've gone that one step further. At the time of making this, the M2 has already been released, and one thing that I did notice, and I did ask them, is about the cross compatibility of it. So for example, if you have bought a C2 and you're thinking, right, I want to upgrade, I bought all the heavy cams, I bought all this, I'm like, oh, is it going to fit in with the ecosystem? And it's just like, yes, it is. It's going to fit into the ecosystem. So if you do own a C2 with an extra large grip, let's say, or a large grip, and you have the heavy body, and you're like, well, shall I get the M2 and will everything fit? You can use the M2 and it will be cross compatible with everything that works on the C2 and vice versa. So I would even go as far as saying, if you buy an M2, buy a C2 as well, just because if, say for example, something happens and the M2 breaks and you need to send it off to be repaired, you've got this as a backup and you can still use the whole ecosystem and it will work absolutely lovely. So there we go. That is me done. Short and sweet. ACUS have made a machine that is fucking great. It works well. It's affordable. It is tunable to a degree, and you can get it to work how you want and not have to adapt you to the machine. So well done. Thank you very much for sending this to me to test out and review. It has definitely become part of my day-to-day usage. I thoroughly enjoyed testing it out and using it, and I'm going to continue using it as well as obviously life goes on. But yeah, if I've missed anything in this, or if you've got any questions, pop it down below. It's either going to be in the other video, or it might be an opinion-based thing, and I can give you the answers via a video or in the comments. But there we go, that is me done. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, hit like, subscribe, and all that bollocks to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing on the channel. I appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, allows me to bring content to you and all that jazz. So I'm gonna go now. Catch you again in another video.